This is the only beginner's guide to ETFs and the S&P 500 that you will ever need, delivered in under 60 seconds. If you want to start investing but don't know where to put your first $100, you need to watch this. This is the simplest approach used by beginners instead of gambling on random stocks. Long-term data actually shows that broad index funds like the S&P 500 have delivered around 9 to 10% a year over decades. Most people trying to pick winning stocks fail to be this consistently. Now, first and foremost, what is an ETF? And an ETF is a fund holding multiple assets. So you buy one thing and you get diversified exposure. For example, the S&P 500 is the top 500 US companies in one single product. Why are the S&P 500 or global ETFs used by beginners? Now, first of all, it is diversified, meaning it is lower risk than betting on a single share. And secondly, historically, it does return over long periods. It almost never doesn't. Now, how to start practically? First of all, pick a reputable broker. This can be platforms like Vanguard, Trading 212, Free Trade, Fidelity. There's literally so many. Just do your research. Pick whichever aligns with you. Nextly, use a tax wrapper if you can. For example, in the UK, we have a stocks and shares ISA, or if you're in the US, you can use a Roth IRA or a 401k. Just set up a monthly account you can stick to. Now, what does lower risk really mean here? It doesn't mean that risk is zero. Prices still are going to move up and down, but you're spreading your risk across multiple, if not hundreds of companies, instead of just putting it in one individual stock or one individual company. So when does this actually make sense to do? One is when you're not trying to trade daily, you're not a trader, you want passive income that's actually passive, so you don't need to put any kind of thought into it, and you don't need to do your research into companies or stocks or whatever else. And secondly is when you want a long-term way of growing your money without constantly having to watch the charts like a trader would do. Save this and I will make follow-up videos for beginners both in the UK and in the US with tickers on the screen so you can follow along practically.